welcome, Dan. Good to have you, brother.
Hey, everybody. Hey, Mark, can you hear me okay?
Can hear you good, man.
Great. Good. Sounds like a fascinating one. I
Oh
just
yeah,
finished watching
it's loaded.
I just finished watching the last couple you posted on your channel. Very interesting.
Thank you. So I know you when you call. I don't know if you could just maybe get a little closer to the mic. I know when we spoke, you had mentioned something interesting that you did just ran a search on, and I'd love for you to share it.
Yeah, well, is that better?
Yeah,
Do I
that's
sound
much better. Yep.
okay? Yeah. So, you have brought it up time and time again. It always comes up in your death experiences. This tremendous love wave uh, that we get that quote all the time. It's all about love, you know.
Mhm.
And it just dawned on me: is there actually any information? Because why would that be used constantly as some kind of thing, especially with our premise that a lot of this stuff is a deception,
Mhm.
and its purpose is to lure you into complying or agreeing to another reincarnation cycle, or to just to if you just stick around the Earth astral, which
Yeah,
I think.
or just whatever other matrix realms they run, right?
Right, I'm
I
sure
mean,
that
who
this is
knows?
the only Loosh farm. There
Yeah,
has to be other
exactly.
ones.
There's no way.
Right.
There's got to be many.
Um, right. So, and anybody out there, I was going to do a short video on this on my channel, and I'll probably do it tomorrow. Maybe I've just been working a lot and kind of tired lately. But if you go to Google, Brave, search, DuckDuckGo, you can go to any search engine and just type in "love can blind you." And if you do that, um, like Mark, if you actually go to, I don't know if you can put it on your screen, but if you Google "love can blind you," you'll get a summary thing um, at the very top, which tells you what it means to be blinded by love, and it basically says that the emotion can make you go beyond anything logical or rational. Um, you lose sense of objectivity. Essentially, this is the perfect tool.
Hmm.
There's actually an article very close to the top, which is titled "There's actual scientific proof that love can indeed make you mentally
You
blind."
know what? You could share your screen if you'd like. If
Um,
you'd like, I mean, or you could just read it. I mean, it's up to
let me
you,
see.
whatever you prefer. You just
Let me
do
see.
the share and excuse me, share and then screen. Excuse me, sorry for coughing in your face.
Oh yeah, okay. Share. Um,
And then you just got to pick whatever window you're watching or looking at,
um,
and then I could. I think you should just pop right up.
where is the window? Oh yeah, there it is. Okay. So I can share. Oh, I can share the. Okay. Wait.
Overwatch joined.
Can you see that?
Yep. Okay, there we go. Yep.
Okay, so that's the Google search result right there. And then if you see here how it says right here, there's an article that comes up. There's actual scientific proof that love will indeed make you blind. Let me see if DuckDuckGo has anything better. Yeah. I
Well,
have to
Tony
share.
Robbins is up there in the first result.
Yeah, of
One
course.
of the
Isn't that
first. Yeah.
something?
Yeah.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Wait, let me try to share the entire window or the entire screen. There you go. Can you see that?
Okay, let's see. Yep. You know what I do? I maximized it so, or as big as it can get. So yeah, yep.
Um,
See it good.
wait. Damn it. Having a little technical issue here.
No
Hold
worries.
on.
Sure.
Um, oh, now my fan is running.
Don't hear it, so that's good.
Okay. How do I? Sorry for the technical problems, but this is all last minute stuff.
Yeah, this was all last minute. Yeah. We
Okay.
lost
There
the
we
whole
go.
window this time.
Okay, that's all right. Got it.
So you'll have to share again.
There we go.
Overwatch joined.
Okay. Now you got my whole window.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, actual scientific proof that love will indeed make you blind. Can you see that?
Yep. Got the whole screen up.
Okay, so I noticed that about 85% or so of near-death experiences, would you agree, Mark, are all involved with this love thing? And then there's another smaller percentage, maybe 15% or so, 20%, that it can start off with a hellish experience. Sometimes it goes to the fear, and it uses fear instead of love. But for the most part, the majority is love.
Yep.
And then there are some with fear, and even when you break all those down and you look at those people's backgrounds, you find out that some really horrible people can have NDEs with all love and light, and then some really decent people can have the hellish experience. It's almost like maybe for that person, the love thing wouldn't have worked as well, so they turn it on to the hellish experience.
Yeah, they customize it, and I think for maximum outcome in their favor.
Right, exactly, and it's a way to get you to comply. Matter of fact, fear is used here a lot of times to get you to comply with things, isn't it? Isn't that right?
Oh yeah. Same old song and dance up there, man.
Right. So, but the love thing is probably more effective most of the time. So it's used most of the time. So here's a actual answer to the some of the like that one in the last few podcasts you were doing where the woman in I forget what her name is that's interviewing the near-death experiencers or people with
Melissa?
pre-birth memories.
Yeah, Melissa. Yep.
So she's apparently getting some comments. Hey, what about this? What about that?
Oh,
and
yeah.
they still go. They're still using this. It's all about love concept, and now there's a reason, a logical reason. I don't know why this came to me the other day. I was just like, hey, is there any actual scientific data that love can be used to blind you in a sense, not obviously with your vision, but you blind you to your objectivity, your ability to think for yourself. And sure enough, that looks like it makes a perfect tool to the reincarnation soul farmers to keep the crops here, incarnating on Earth.
Prime. And we've talked about many times, is like, some people kill in the name of love. I mean, that can't be forgotten. I mean, you can have a loved one hurt or violated or something, and someone may seek revenge, or you can love someone so much that you're crazy and, you treat them like crap. I mean, all sorts of different scenarios present themselves.
Yeah, exactly. And then you have, when people get things in their head that aren't even true, and then they begin stalking somebody, they become obsessed. Love is an emotion, and if anything, isn't there plenty of evidence that people that want to manipulate someone will use emotion to manipulate them? It's a critical component in with narcissists and even governments in general, right? Always constantly got to do it for the children. We got to do it for this. We got to do it for that, right? It's always that thing. always playing on emotion. Hello, Mark?
Yeah. Sorry, I was muted. I didn't realize it.
That's okay.
Yeah, playing on emotion constantly. I just want to give a big thank you to Careless for your extremely kind and generous super chat. Says, Mark, just wanted to say thanks for all the work you're doing. If people don't believe this, they should take into consideration that deception doesn't end when you leave the earthly life. People must hear about all the tricks that are waiting for them. Keep it up. Thank you so much. That's so kind of you. I really appreciate you. And you're right. I mean, it's the evidence is there, and it's just the same tactics being used, and they have all the information. I mean, that's something we talk about constantly, right? They have every second of every minute of every hour of every month of every year of your life to go through, to sift through. And it is no doubt some sort of AI type construct that processes this stuff, and it makes sure that, or it doesn't make sure, but it gets as close to making sure as possible that we're compliant, that we fall into a certain bubble, and that bubble, no matter what, is always going to be the matrix. And the key thing is to get you to believe in something exterior to yourself, or believe in the illusions, or whatever the case may be. And and like this says right here, I mean, the red flags, not just with blind below, the red flags are numerous, Dan.
Yes, massive red flag. So all the research that have led us here separately, independently, because of all these red flags, and it is astonishing the stuff that many people are capable of ignoring. It's astonishing. Even when they tell you the truth about something, even when they when it's like sometimes the media will try to get you to think a certain way, and then when you go and look at the official websites that they say are the official websites, you can find out that what they're telling you doesn't even jive with the official information, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's like all the red flags are there, and yet a lot of people just will ignore it. And it's amazing what people are capable of ignoring. I find it fascinating. I can't.
It's really something.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah,
Really.
I mean, you know what else is interesting? How the negative NDEs are constantly just like they're suppressed unless you go digging for them, especially like interviews about them, like in a video form. I mean, you could find them on the NDERF and ION's websites, but you gotta dig for them. And it seems like they go out of the way to make sure that the negative ones are just not put out there, and they're just explained away. I mean, even with the coma experiences, same thing. Some people have great coma experiences, while others have like absolute torturous hell. I mean, some of the things we've seen with comas and these NDEs that are negative are just horrific. And there is no doubt a conceited effort across the board in NDE research, and even, I mean, coma's not as much because, I mean, it's just not as talked about, but especially with NDEs, it's completely censored. It really is. We only get so much information from that, and you really, really got to dig.
Yeah, sure. The biggest example of that is the Monroe Institute, and even Robert Monroe himself ignoring his own book.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. When we were talking about that, I mean, it's crazy what goes on with that one. I mean, it's going against his own like process.
Yeah, he goes against his own process, which he clearly establishes in the first book. And then he breaks all of his own rules, and then his own institute just ignores this massive bombshell that they drop in the middle of the second book with the Loosh
exactly.
account.
And it's crazy because they will not talk about it. They will not. really, the only one that's ever talked about it, and there is going to be a video on this. I've been working on it slowly, but Tom Campbell, who was part of the Monroe Institute. He's the big guy with the book My Big Toe.
Yeah, I've read it. I read that.
Yeah,
I went through all that material. Some of his conclusions are mind-boggling. I don't have
exactly.
any idea or how he comes up with this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I maybe he's more of a scientist and stuff like that. But really, if you just look at it from an investigative perspective, like I do, it just you get led down to completely different conclusions. I mean, it's like a clues in a crime. You just follow the clues, and wherever the clues take you, that's probably where the truth is.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's incredible because Tom Campbell's a piece of work. So, but in short, from my recollection, he had seen Monroe not long after the whole Loosh period, and basically anything else Monroe does, according to the Monroe Institute, according to Tom Campbell, according to anyone who knew him or was related to him, everything else is factual. Everything else is spot on and perfect advice that someone can be given and real. But when it comes to the Loosh thing, radio silence, or the one and only individual to talk about it was Tom Campbell. I think William Buhlman may have mentioned, or Ballman, I think it's Buhlman, but, look, clearly, by the way William Buhlman talks, he knows something's up, but he was also confronted with the Soul Trap thing not that long ago and made a statement on it, along with, I think one other individual, because the topic's obviously picking up steam, and it's just excuse after excuse. But if you listen to Buhlman's talks on it, it's clear that he knows something's wrong and something's up. And
he has to tread lightly because of he'll be canceled by his own group.
Yeah, and he's connected with the Monroe Institute. He has lectures. I don't know if he does them in person anymore, but I know he does some online things. But, for a while, for many, many years, he was doing lectures and retreats and all that stuff. And Tom Campbell basically crapped all over Monroe's things on Loosh. So really, really interesting turn of events. And the Monroe Institute themselves will not talk about it. The only things I've found in their archives, you can go to archive.org. You can search everything that they've ever put out, or everything and anything associated to the Monroe Institute. And the only thing I ever found, I wish I had it on hand, but there's one thing out there, and it's like, I guess, some kind of offshoot Monroe or Monroe Institute kind of group, I think in San Francisco or Northern California, something. Regardless of where it is, it doesn't matter. And it's a post and about a meetup together, and it was, in short, Dan, it was talking about how Loosh is a good thing. Can help us.
Look, see,
swear to God, I gotta find it. Die, man.
You have a lot of philosophies out there, religions, etc., cosmologies, and they all attempt to give you some kind of, explanation that explains suffering and evil, and all the turmoil there, and all of them have to do a lot of cognitive dissonance, a lot of information massaging to maintain whatever it is they're peddling. And the reason I think that what you're talking about, what I've talked about for many years, and Wayne Bush and others, is starting to gain a little traction is because in reality, our explanation really doesn't require cognitive dissonance. It doesn't require you to massage the information. It actually explains suffering and evil in a very logical and kind of like there's no plot holes in our explanation. There's no plot holes. A lot of plot holes, and a lot of these
with everything else.
everything else they gotta do a little song and dance, and then they gotta tell you it's about, and then you got your life scripts, of course. Something like the Jeremy Renner thing that just recently happened. Is that have you seen that story about Jeremy Renner?
I don't believe so.
In January, he was run over by a 14,000-pound snowcat
Oh my God.
and survived.
Oh God, the poor guy.
And they pieced him back together pretty much. I mean, he was literally, he actually is kind of like well, he's a real life hero now. He's really trying to save his nephew, I think, who was in the way of this snowplow, and he got caught in the track, and the thing ran him over just, off to the side so the actual tires that bared the entire weight that were pulling the tank treads of this thing didn't actually press on him. Probably it was just the treads, but it was on pavement, and luckily it was really cold out. And then, a lot of times if it's freezing enough, your body's functions can slow down and actually help save your life in an emergency.
Mm-hmm.
And he is like walking again. It's amazing. This thing broke, I don't know how many bones in his body, but yet not his spinal cord was not touched. Right? It just somehow managed to miss that. And then you have he's of course famous, so everybody sees that whole event.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can have something like somebody else that isn't famous. They'll just have a simple car accident or something, and they're dead. They're done. It's the whole life script thing here is also quite fascinating, because it does seem to be a thing. I've heard you mention that many times. Could you explain where you came up with that term, or
Which term? I'm sorry.
Life script.
Life script.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I just kind of I said it, but mainly the past life regressions and life between lives thing kind of got me to think of that term, because it continually talked about how we're there's these scripts, like we come up with these scripts. Yeah, we do have free will. We all have free will, but at the same time, it's ridiculous to say this, but it's a limited free will within the confines of the body. So I think until essentially we wake up and realize that something like a life script exists, I think you really have to be aware of how this place functions, then it essentially is difficult, right? It's I think everything kind of goes on autopilot. And even with that being said, a lot of stuff still is weird. Especially with things like synchronicities and things happening like with intuition. So yeah, I mean, the life script is it's a big one. I mean, I think that's how they keep us familiar. The other thing is how certain things, especially traumatic things from our past lives, carry over to this lifetime subconsciously, and we aren't necessarily aware of those things. And we can have it could be phobias, fears, resentment towards individuals that are in our soul group for whatever reason. all sorts of different baggage that comes along with this. And then, of course, there's like the whole attachment factor. And then you mix in like, oh, well, Dan, you're going to come down and, you're going to meet your wife, you're going to have children, and you've got your mother, your father, and whoever. And there's some sort of whole thing that we've all been involved with together. Now, I think that's not the case with every single individual that we meet, but I think a lot of the important relationships that we're involved with definitely play its role.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fascinating. Yeah.
I mean, the trauma and the phobias are huge. I mean, the past life regressionists, the hypnotherapists, even regular hypnotherapists who are not even into regressions, they will constantly tap into. So if you have a fear of heights or whatever the case may be, spiders, it doesn't matter what it is. If you have phobias or fears and you go to a hypnotherapist, they can remove those most of the time. Not all the time, but a lot of times they can. And the regression therapists always end up linking it to past lives. And it could be something like, oh, like you fell from a ledge and died, or you fell from a ledge and had a horrific injury, kind of like what we're going to talk about with this near-death experience. How he fell as a child from 32 feet. I mean, so clearly something like that, if he comes back, is going to be used as a tool against him to invoke fear, which is louche. So,
Yep, it's all about the constant churning of chaos, confusion, fear, conflict, and apparently that makes purified louche, whatever that is. I don't know what it is exactly. Maybe it's a way for beings that have never incarnated into any physical plane, that only exist in like these what we call from here, like we refer to them as the spirit planes.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's like maybe it is like a drug. Maybe it's like a drug that makes them experience the exhilaration of the conflict without having to actually partake in it.
Yeah. Yeah, and what's interesting is you brought up that case with the snow machine accident.
Yeah, Jeremy.
There is a case. 1 minute. Sorry, I don't want to cough in your face, but there's a case that I ran across last year. Oh, and I've been trying to find it while we've been talking. It's basically a teenager and his girlfriend, male and female, and he is working with some sort of heavy machinery, and I don't remember exactly what happened, but it fell over on him, and he ends up losing literally all of his limbs.
Oh my gosh.
Arms, legs. Okay? And yeah, I know. And they put him in an induced coma right away. And they're talking, the doctors and nurses are talking with the girlfriend and the parents, and they say, "Listen, like, we can try to help him, but his life is going to be miserable. He's going to be miserable basically. I mean, he's got, it's horrendous when you look at him. You can't help but your heart just crushes for this kid." And they say, "Okay, we're going to wake him up, and let him decide what he wants to do." Because the hospital's like, "Look, he's not gonna have a life. It's gonna be very difficult." And well, lo and behold, they take him out of the induced coma, and they ask him point blank, "Listen, this is what's going on. It's going to take years to kind of get you through this process, through all these insane surgeries. Do you want to live?" They're asking him. And And he says, yes. The girlfriend's there, though, too. So remember that. You know,
Of course,
you
yeah.
have the love attachment there, right? And
Yes.
he's young. He's like, I think he was like 17 or 18, like really, really young. And he decides he wants to live. And you can follow his story on YouTube. I will try my best to find the channel. It is heartbreaking, absolutely heartbreaking. And this guy, this kid, is a warrior, an absolute freaking warrior of epic proportions. He ended up getting out of the hospital sooner than they thought, but his pain is through the roof. I mean, everything is difficult. I mean, it's just your heart aches to see it. But I don't know if you happen to be familiar with any of this. It's kind of hard to describe it because I don't have a channel or video to give you. But and be I found it. Hold on. Okay. Wow. Okay. Perfect. All right. So the name of the channel is I might be butchering this. Sabia and Loren. Sabia and Loren. So they've got right now 577,000 subscribers. You can go and look at this channel and look at the journey from the beginning. I'm gonna text it to you right now. There on the channel, and if you can, do you mind popping that up on your screen? Because for some reason, when I switch screens, it's blanking out what we're on. So I don't know why it's doing that. But
let me see this.
But I just want you to kind of look. You know, I want you to kind of see exactly what condition he's in. It's. I mean, this kid is really a warrior. I mean, it's insane.
Sabian.
And you just look at this and you say to yourself, how, you know, why is this happening? What, you know, what kind of life script was he given where what is acceptable about this in any way, shape, or form?
There is a book that was written by she was a woman that was a contractor in Iraq, I think.
Oh yeah.
I think it's called something like I can't remember. I read the book. Can't remember the name of it now. Unimaginable things or unanticipated. I can't remember the name. Anyway, she basically is her unit was, or she's being transported by the military. She's a contractor, and the unit runs into an IED or something, and
she had an NDE, right?
Yes, she has this massive NDE. She meets the Council of Nine. You know, there's the whole works here. I'm trying to bring this window up so people can see the channel while I'm talking to you. So she is in this.
If you do a screen share, I'll pop it up so people can kind of see. Because for some reason, when I switch over, it's just not working. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna put his channel on there. There you go.
OverWatch.
Can you see it now?
Okay, great. Let me put. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Yep. So she is in the NDE, and there's this whole like discussion or exchange of it's not fair to call it anything how these communications like discussions, because it's all telepathic. It probably happens at super speeds, and you know, we're not restricted by the brain when we're out of the body. And she is engaged in this whole like debate in this book during her NDE about whether or not to come back, because her body's not, you know, completely, it's still able to survive. And in the meantime, I think there's like an intoxication. It's not just like this love effect, like you say. It's more like, it's also like an intoxicating.
Oh yeah,
thing.
it's like I call it like compared to a drug dealer. like
Right.
of epic proportions.
Right. And here she is, uh, and she, this is her book. She wrote, she's joking, or actually laughing at the idea that when they send her back, maybe she should be blind
Oh my
for the
god.
rest of her life. I mean, this is a fascinating book where she is like talking about what other debilitating handicaps she could have for the rest of her life on Earth, and all this, like, and almost like the pain and suffering, and is like something like not taken seriously by her when
Mm-hmm.
she's in this state.
Yeah.
It was very disturbing when I was reading it. I was like, how could anybody say that, plan that for themselves? I mean, but here you got this guy, right? This Sabia and Lauren guy. The story sounds absolutely tragic.
It's horrible.
And, but wait, this guy has an arm.
Um.
Did they reattach
Oh
something?
yeah. Maybe he's got his arms but not his legs. I don't remember. I could be off. It's been a while since I looked at it. Sorry. Yeah.
That's okay. Yeah, there's a lot. There's so much information. It's hard to keep. We've probably forgotten more than we
He
remember.
definitely doesn't have legs. That I'm sure of.
But I mean, you never know what people agreed to before they were born here. Like at
That's the
some point,
problem.
we're gonna arrange this horrible tragedy for you, and they're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that sounds interesting.
So
That sounds like a thing."
screwed up.
Yeah, it is screwed up.
And when you were talking about that other one, it made me think of one of the cases. I've talked about this one a lot on, I believe it was in Destiny of Souls, and it might have been like in the, I don't know, 1700s or 1800s. I think 1800s, and there was a life script that was planned in advance, and I think it was a woman or a girl at the time. And before she came here, she worked out a life script where, in my opinion, she was being kind of pushed in this direction, because I think anyone who kind of agrees to these types of things, or even thinks that they owe this karmically through judgment and sinning and all that stuff, because that really seems to be the root of a lot of this, is or just even throw all that aside and just like, these are things that you need to spiritually evolve here. So we have a bunch of different little mini scams going on and deceptions that kind of link all this stuff together, and what exactly goes on with each individual and each lifetime, who knows. But in this case, in short, I'm going to sum it up, and I could be missing or
No, I'm looking at these little thumbnails on this guy's channel.
yeah, that's great.
It's like he has no bottom of his body.
No. Yeah.
I mean, everything below the stomach line looks like it's gone.
Yeah, I think for the arms he got like extensions or something, or at least one of them. I don't know if it was both of them, but I think, or maybe it was the legs. I don't know. But anyways, in this 1800s case, the woman, or the girl, I'm sorry, she agreed in advance. She said, I want to live a life where I don't have to worry about financial security. I want to have loving parents, but I want to experience where I can read and observe. And they're like, oh yeah, okay. So then, here we go. Here's your life script. And the deal is like, she had to basically have a quote unquote accident by falling outside of like her parents' carriage, her horse carriage, and essentially be confined to a wheelchair. And that's what happened. And she was miserable, of course. And the crazy thing is when they were doing the regression on her, she said how like there was something subconsciously going on, or who knows what it was at the time, but at least like as she's looking at it from the perspective after it's happened and in the current lifetime, she said, "Oh well, I didn't want to go through with it," and there was almost like a force that pushed her out of the carriage to make the life script move along. But
Yeah.
or like she felt like something helped push her out there. It wasn't like her parents or anything. It was like some sort of force. Like I think it was like a big like bump in the road or something, and like the door swung open, and and then of course she was disabled.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. And people agree to all this crazy nonsense. But then again, you look at what people agree to down here on a daily basis, and you're like, what is wrong with you?
I know. I know.
But yeah, it's fascinating. This NDE you're about to present sounds really good. Looking forward to hearing it. I am really tired though, Mark. So
No worries, man. No worries.
I'm gonna have to listen with the rest of the audience.
Sounds good.
I'm gonna
You go
I'm gonna
rest,
check out.
man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I'm probably gonna doze off very quickly anyway. I'll catch the rest of it tomorrow, but it will be. I'm sure it will be as fascinating as all the other ones you posted. So,
All right, brother.
appreciate
Well,
it.
thanks for stopping by tonight.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
yeah. I hope I gave you a little extra input for your show tonight. I was gonna make my own video about that, but why not premiere it? Premiere that whole "love can make you blind" thing on your show. So.
Sure. Yeah, and you can always, download and edit the video here and cut the segment and share it on your channel if you want. Whatever, and add to it or whatever you want to do.
Oh yeah, thanks. Appreciate that. And I hope you have a good night. And
You too.
everybody out there tuning in, thanks for watching. And I hope this all helps you out in some way.
Yeah. Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it. And don't forget to check out Dan at Overwatch Channel on YouTube and OverWatchProject.com. And he's also Overwatch Project on Odysee. What
Yes.
about Rumble? I forgot. Are you on there?
I created an account, never posted anything there.
Okay.
And I've even heard some people getting, uh, there's something about Rumble. I'm not sure how that's going to work out over there.
I think Rumble is another. This is my opinion. I think Rumble is equivalent to another BitChute, where honestly, I think they've already proven it. There's barely any improvements on the site. I mean, you only got. I mean, BitChute's ridiculous. I don't even think they have live streaming over there yet, do they? And
No,
they've taken all this money and made a bunch of promises and nothing's ever happened. And Rumble Odyssee's had a much less of a starting point to go with, and they've consistently put money into improving the platform. Rumble, it's a joke. It's a joke.
Odyssey is clearly great. And I love how when you're watching something, like if I watch one of your videos on Odyssey, it's so much better than anywhere else because I can stop the video anytime. I don't even need to look at what time I've stopped it. And I'm going to come back to it later. When I go to resume it,
It remembers.
It remembers where I was at and continues playing it from there without me having to look at the bar on the bottom to figure out where I need to skip ahead to. It just automatically picks up where I left off.
Yeah, and Rumble doesn't do that.
No, nobody else. I don't see that
Rumble
anywhere
doesn't
else.
even have a watch history, Dan.
No.
I mean,
The other thing about Odysee is if you're using their Android app, you can turn off your phone screen and listen. If you're have a Bluetooth headset, you can listen. You can listen to it like a podcast. The Android app could use some improvement.
definitely.
There's a heat up issue. It's using too much processor power on the Android phones, probably on iPhone too, and it gets a little hot. But outside of that, their app is great. Their search feature actually works. There's a ton of stuff, and there's videos on there you cannot see anywhere else.
Agreed. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, they've consistently shown that they don't mind putting money into the platform. And
and
I mean, the only thing I
yeah,
really think they should improve on, or at least they should fix, is the replay chat, because it's like all posts as comments. You know, I
yeah.
mean, that's kind of, I mean, that should be something they should work on. But I mean, Rumble, I don't even think, they don't have it either. So, but I mean, other than that, I mean, they're still light years ahead compared to Rumble, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, and they seem to have so far at least they blanketly allow free speech. So anything is out there, it's ends up on Odysee if it gets blocked somewhere else.
Yeah, and the one thing about BitChute is they happen to be. Last I checked, it's been a while. Maybe things have changed, but from what I recall, don't quote me on this, but I think they're on the, on the same street or very, very close to a very famous intelligence agency over in England.
Oh yes,
Mission
yes.
Impossible type
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
I'm almost positive they're like, right, we're like neighbors.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sure, yeah. I have similar thoughts about the last pass where they, with the passwords happens to be based in Virginia.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Convenient
But,
location.
that just it could just be a coincidence.
Sure.
But all right, Mark.
All right,
This ought to be
brother.
good. So have fun.
Thanks so much, man. Great.
Yeah.
Great having you on, Dan. Thanks for joining
Yeah.
tonight.
Thank you. Have a good night.
All right, I'll see you soon, man.
See you, everybody. Bye.
Take care.